Hello everyone, Dr. Eames here. This time I'd like to talk to you about the technological environment. Now, technology is something that we're immersed in throughout every day of our lives. Technology affects everything we use, the way that we do things and how we get them done and so forth. So our phones are full of technology that we use to talk wirelessly, to talk mobilely, and so forth, to be able to send videos and pictures and all sorts of things wirelessly to locations through the use of technology. And so this includes our computers and all the various software programs and so forth that make things work. So on our smaller devices and our handhelds and things like that, our phones, we have many apps, which are really small types of software technology and programs. This makes us overall, the use of technology, more efficient, more productive certainly, and more effective. So that's the first thing that we want to really talk about. And in the technological environment, this notion of being effective and being efficient. Now, certainly it matters if we can be efficient. It means we're saving time on getting something done. If we're saving time, maybe we're saving some money as well. Or maybe we're just doing things smoother and it's not making too much of a difference in the money at the end, but we feel like things are going better, that it's the best way to do things and has the smallest number of errors along the way or whatever. That's being efficient. But what's more important than that, even though being efficient can really help us, is being effective. Now, being effective means we've reached our goals. We've done what we said we're going to do. We've accomplished the things that we said we were set out to do. So being effective has to be where we're aiming at the end of the day. But being efficient on the way certainly helps us to do well in the marketplace. Being efficient helps us beat the competition and take the largest market share and be profitable and so forth. So we're constantly working a balancing act between our efficiency and our efficient use of technology, because sometimes you have to make a decision. Do I want to invest in this new technology, which will help me be this much better, and it'll be a lot of money, or should we just go on the way we are for now? And not spend that investment to get a little bit of gain? These are the sorts of business questions that you have to ask yourself, and they're directly driven by the things that we find in the technological environment. And certainly our current technological environment is very volatile. In other words, there's a lot going on all the time. We just never know what new product might come out, what new use for an existing product might happen, and so forth. So when we look at business in general, technology has fostered the real growth of what we know as e-commerce, right? Electronic commerce. And this means we're buying and selling goods over the internet and services as well. And this is reflected in a different sorts of ways. Business to consumer. That is called B2C. That's the acronym. And so business sells to consumers, and we use the internet to do that, in addition to the traditional ways of doing it in a store, a brick and mortar location, or through the mail of some type. But we also have business to business, B2B. And B2B is actually a much bigger market as far as business commerce goes. The orders are bigger, more money is spent between businesses than it is between business and consumers. So just consider that for a moment, how the implications of that selling to other businesses is actually a bigger amount of money than businesses selling products and services to consumers. And then today we have a newer phenomenon, C2C, consumer to consumer. And this is done through the growth of technology, in particular apps and platforms, as they call them, which are really software programs that you can access generally on the internet. And this allows the rise of companies like eBay, where a consumer can sell to another consumer without the use of a credit card and so forth, because you use a third party, in this case PayPal, which sets up an account for both consumers, and they are sort of the clearinghouse for the bank accounts or credit unions, and the backing up of the credit card for each consumer, and allows us to sell to each other. And so the growth of e-commerce is all happening because of advances and constant flux in the technological environment. Now, the way to really make this work for ourselves is certainly the companies that have the best service and really are the most responsive to their customers are going to do the best. And generally, they're going to get the best market share, depending on service as well as price and, of course, quality. And to do this, there are a couple of issues. Today, the big thing that we use is database technology. We have these vast databases, which are really just computers, what we refer to generally as the cloud or something like that. But the cloud is no more than a bunch of servers and computers with a great storage capacity for data. And these databases are accessed through programs, software programs, and you can get reports and all sorts of information depending on what you put into them. The biggest problem we really have today in the technological environment is identity theft and issues of personal privacy of information and so forth. But certainly, I think you get a really good idea of how important it is to recognize that you're operating in a technological environment and to use that knowledge to the best effect you can to help your own business. Okay, folks, that'll do it for this time.